If yesterday's episode was powerful, get ready to go to the next level today. Welcome to episode number 39 of Daily Live with Dr. Surya. And today's episode, we are going to dive deep into the next phase of the interview, which is all about negotiating the salary. Before we go through this, let's recap whatever we have been through that got us to this phase. Firstly, you decided what kind of a job you would like to have. The second thing, you found out how you need to tailor your resume to such an extent where every single time that you apply for a job, the resume is customized exactly to the job description, aligning to the mission, vision, values of the company, step by step, so that the applicant tracking system is able to process your resume and your HR actually sees your resume in front of them. As soon as that happens, they call you. And we spoke about the initial screening call. What are the things we need to do? Then the first round of interview, what are the things we need to do? How all we need to prepare? What is the homework that we need to do about the company, the mission, vision, values, about the people, the leaders in the company, both personal level as well as professional level, so that you're well built. We also understood the step-by-step frameworks, the altruistic tonality that we need to have while we are speaking in an interview. We also did micro level role plays where we understood how just by putting ourselves in the other person's shoes automatically creates a subconscious programming where they start liking you with the very first conversation itself. Then we spoke about the technical round, the level of prep that you need to have. We spoke about the second round where things goes a little deep. We spoke about how crafting stories from your professional experience, which has no connection with what's mentioned in the resume, is what will create that credibility for you in that interview. We also ended with how one interview, the success of every interview is when you are able to turn the interview into an actual consulting call or a conversation where you're actually helping the company solve problems. Now, once this entire phase is done in that interview, they will tell you that we will get back to you, Surya. Okay. And the moment they obviously give you all the details, like if you're moving forward, then the HR will call you to talk to you about the different the salary, and accordingly we will get you onboarded. Now, this is a very crucial time, and before we even begin our salary negotiation session, I want to talk to you in depth about what happens behind the scenes. Now, having literally built quite a few HR departments from ground up in the few companies that I've had the blessing of serving over the last couple of years, I'm giving you some of the behind the scenes access of exactly what happens. Every role has a defined budget, a budget which includes a minimum threshold. Like, this is the minimum that the company is going to pay for this particular role. And then there is a maximum limit for that particular role, which the HR is supposed to negotiate and accordingly ensure that the candidate gives a thumbs up. Now, Yogeshwari is someone who knows all these jargons in and out. Unfortunately, I am not that good with the industry jargons yet. I can only tell you the things plain and simple exactly the way they are. Okay. So there are all these words like gestation phase, offer letter, uh, uh, the negotiation phase, a lot of these jargons that I don't even know. So I'll keep things simple, okay, for all of us to be on the same page and understand as well. So once you've given a phenomenal interview, which if you watched yesterday's session and you're following those techniques and methods, you'll get crystal clear idea. Once you've given a world-class level interview, what they will be doing is they will be comparing your skill the offer, as in the job description, the position, the salary as per the industry standard, and they will also plan their budget. Now, there are a couple of companies that offer the industry standard salary. Now, how do you get to know that? So, I will not be able to show you this because it's uh, a part of uh, a part of my personal level assets, but I can help you do a little bit of research. So I have this little sheet that I have prepared, which compiles the salaries across these couple of platforms. One is Glassdoor, salary.com, indeed.co.in, Michael Page Indian Salary Report, Adecco India Salary Report. Now, I did a little bit of a research, as in made AI do all this research and compiled the salaries of quite a few roles that I am interested in, or I have the potential possibility of hiring in the future for our company, Sunsden. And each of those salaries are benchmarked in, so you can look at the columns. So I have 4 columns. One is the role. Okay, so the role, the experience, the minimum salary paid in the industry, the median salary, and the maximum salary paid for the industry. In the columns, I have fresher, 1 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years, 4 to 6 years, 6+ years, and accordingly the growth happens. So the cells are filled based on the research across all these platforms. Now, for all the different roles, I have a proper in-depth research. First of all, this is the research that I did. How can you go ahead and do the research? You just need to go and type in ChatGPT about the same, like compare use the deep research feature or the deep thinking feature of any AI tool, not just ChatGPT. You can use Perplexity, DeepSeek, any tool, and just write down that, analyze these top uh, salary firms across the world, the reports and data, and give me a list in a simple table which breaks down the salary for this specific role. You'll get the salary idea. Now, the company is already aware of it, but there are certain limitations here. There are 3 kinds of companies. One, who pay the industry standard, but they have a range. Number 2, they try to pay based on their own budget, which could be, if it's a startup and they don't have that much of funds, they don't have that inflow of revenue coming in. So they would hire in a little lesser package than the industry standard, but they will give certain additional perks. The third, they obviously pay you well, but they, at the same time, they also overcompensate with some additional bonuses. So the HR will be discussing all of this with the leaders of the company. Or if the company is a little senior and the HR have already been given all those resources, they will only take the decision. Now, this is a very, very important distinction here. You have just finished your interview with your department. Your department and the HR department are 2 different entities in every company. Very, very important to understand. The depth of your work, the importance of your proficiency or skill, I could be a little biased here, but most of the HR companies do not understand or respect it to the level that they are supposed to. And this is as per my experience. There are definitely a few companies where the human resources genuinely are interested in taking care of the employees, but I'm not here to beat around the bush. I'm telling you exactly what it is. Most of the HRs just want to give you the 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 salary that ensures that the company is always profitable. So keeping all these things as the foundation, this is when you need to start preparing for your salary negotiation. I've given you what happens at the back end. The HR is already discussing with the team member or probably the bosses on what should be the salary package or everything. If they've mentioned this before you started the application, they already must have given you some kind of a range. Or what they try to do is based on your previous package. This is when they will ask you, what was your last salary? What was your last CTC? Can you will you will have to give us the offer letter and your last 3 payment slips, and all of those details is what they would ask. And ideally, in the industry, from what the overall industry standard at this point of time recording, it's just November 2025. So over the last 3 years, the maximum hike that a company wants to give you is 30% of your previous salary. Okay, 30 to 33% of your previous salary. Now, they will tell you so if their budget, they have a budget which is superior to what you are supposed to get, irrespective of whether you have the skill or not. Which means if they have a budget of, let's just say, 15 lakhs per annum for that specific role, but your last salary was 8 lakhs per annum, they will not give you that 15 lakhs until and unless you negotiate. That's why I'm giving you so much of overview, even before I get into the salary negotiation part, the training. I'm giving you lots of behind the scenes stuff over here. Now, keeping all these things in mind, you know what's going on behind the scenes. You know what your role is all about. You've also done a little bit of research on what's the industry standard based with the help of AI. Now, you already know what is the mindset of the HR when they're going to sit with you for the salary negotiation part. This is when you start preparing. And the preparation, I'm going to divide it into a couple of phases. How many phases, I don't know yet, because I'm still organizing my thoughts. Let's first talk about ourselves, because every single time, the worst mistake an employee can do at this point, we have already discussed how much efforts we have put in to get to the point where we are eligible for salary negotiation. So this is the time you have to own what's truly yours. And Yogeshwari comes up with a phenomenal line, which I always love, is salary negotiation is mandatory because if you don't, you are leaving money on the table. Like, money is right there for you to grab, but you accepting whatever the company gives you, you are leaving money on the table. So it all begins with your internal prep first. And this is what you need to do. Make a list of every single amount of money that goes out from the pocket in your home. I'm talking about yourself, your own expenses, the needs, okay? The needs, as in groceries, basic clothes, transportation, mobile phone recharge, the Wi-Fi bill. Again, mobile and internet is mandatory in today's age, okay? And once you are done with your own list, add your family's list, as in groceries, food expenses, transportation, mobile bills, any of those hospital or medical expenses, whatever are the non-negotiables of every month, petrol expense, if you have a vehicle, some maintenance charges in the house that you're staying, those little expenses that keep coming in, the miscellaneous expenses, like what could it be? Uh, Anything. Fix the bulb, fix the tap, all of those things, the milk, bread, eggs. Make a list of all those amounts, check your uh, payment history over the last 3 months, and create that list. Now, for some people, that list will be 10,000, 20,000. For me personally, what I have realized is that amount comes down to 65,000 at this present moment when I'm recording the video. So I know deep down that I go for any job, and if that job does not pay me a minimum amount of this, of 65,000, I'm already running at a loss. This awareness is important. And that's why this personal exercise is important. Do it on an Excel sheet, do it on a doc, handwrite it, whatever that works for you. Preferably keep it on a doc so that you can use that for later, for your salary negotiation. That's the first step you need to take. The second step, this is when I want to give you a detailed breakdown of these concepts called as CTC versus in hand. The full form of CTC is cost to company. If I have to break it down in very, very simple terms, the cost that a company needs to bear to have you as an employee under them. That's cost to company. So with respect to all the labor laws and everything that goes in across the different countries, your CTC does not equal your in-hand pay, which means whatever the company is negotiating with you will always be about the CTC. Now, just because we are not aware about this little point, we will think, okay, if somebody is giving me a CTC of 12 LPA, that's 12 lakhs per annum, which means I'm expected to get 1 lakh per month. Until that's not the case. You will soon begin to realize that there will be certain deductions that comes in. So let me give you the very basic deductions, and then if you want to know more, you can obviously do your own research. The first deduction includes your house rent allowance, you have your travel allowance, your basic pay, and there are certain miscellaneous allowance, which turns out to be your take home salary. The take home salary is what gets deposited into your bank at the end of every month. Take home salary. That's the money that should be a minimum of 65,000 as per what we discussed so far. Now, in addition to it, they give you certain allowances which needs to be reimbursed. So, for example, medical bills or transportation allowance. If you give the bills only, then it will be reimbursed. There are these little travel allowance. If you give the bills and all, they will reimburse the entire travel bills to you. Now, these are called as direct allowances, which means if you give the bills, they will pay you the money. And that's the additional income that you can earn. Then there is something called as indirect, what's that called? Indirect deductions, which means your professional tax, your tax deducted at source. You have your provident fund. Now, these are money that you don't get upfront directly, but you can claim those once you file your ITRs. And again, that happens once in a year or twice in a year. I'm not so sure, but there's a certain period of time by which you need to file your ITR. You need to talk to your accountant, or you can do it by yourself. It's a little difficult to learn, but then uh, again, what I'm planning to do is, because my brother is a CA now, I'll sit with him, learn it, and do it by myself. That way, it makes it easy. But an accountant will just charge a little bit of a money and will take care of that for you, which means at the end of the year, you will have that coming in. Provident fund. Why is this super important? Now, so far, whatever companies that I've worked for, none of them have unlocked a provident fund. And I didn't even feel the need because I needed more of the in-hand cash. Provident fund is a certain amount of money, which is in India, it's 12%. So 6% is your input, 6% the company gives, 12% of your, I think it's the base salary or the total CTC. I'm not so sure right now, but a certain amount of money is put into the employee provident fund, which is it's like a 401k for India. So I don't have, I think I'll try to do the little bit of a calculation. Right now, the last time when I checked, it was around 8.3% of growth, which means the money that stays in provident fund will continue to grow and compound at 8.3%. So let's just say if you have 1,500 bucks per month is being added over there, and if you multiply it by 12, it turns out to be 18,000 rupees. Now 18,000 rupees, if it grows by 8.33% and then compounds over a period of time, you can make the calculation what happens in compound interest, and that amount you will be able to claim it whenever you want, and that is your investment that already gets started. There are some other benefits also that is included in the CTC. You have your insurance cover, personal insurance. Sometimes people give for themselves as well as for the family, medical benefits. Then you have the leave structure, the paid leaves, unpaid leaves, casual leaves, earned leaves, emergency leaves. And then some additional benefits like fitness and all those things are all added perks that gets added. Everything put together includes your cost to the company. Now, just by being aware of this will help you to understand where is it that you need to be in terms of taking control. So you understood what happens behind the scenes. Now we understood the difference between CTC and in hand. We understood how to do that self list calculation in terms of our needs. When you have these data points in front of you, that's when you need to start preparing for your salary. Okay, we also have the list of the industry standard salary roles and everything. But mind you, that is again CTC itself. Okay. So once all these data points are there in front of us, you will soon begin to realize that either the salary that I'm looking for is below the industry standard. Once that happens, you have that range to claim in the salary negotiation. That's the thing that you're going to negotiate. Okay. The minimum salary is there, maximum salary is there. Choose the median one because that's what ideally you should have. But then the minimum and the maximum should give you the range. And based on your proficiency, your skill, and the kind of perks that you want to include, that is the negotiation gap that we can work towards. And mind you, every penny counts. This is super, super important. Every penny counts. When I started working, my first salary was, so again, I'll just use the calculator here. I completely forgot also. So, second. And if I multiply it by 12, so it was 2.76 LPA. And that was back in 2020, towards the end. The recent package that I had was what I think, yeah, I did manage to hit 6-figure LPA. Okay. So again, at this point of me recording, I shouldn't disclose that. It might put me into some trouble, but 6 figures is what I can say. Now that's just the actual CTC. I'll talk to you about the additional this thing as well, the additional income through incentives and commissions and opportunities. So we'll talk about that as the video progresses, the live. So once you are clear about where you are, where you stand, you know how much is it that you can negotiate. And once that clarity is achieved, by the way, this is all the homework that we are doing, okay? All the homework. The HRs have no clue that you are doing this level of in-depth work. What's the name? The managers or the team members who interviewed you, they also don't have that clarity that you are doing this level of research. What the HR will try to do in this case is, see, this is the offer that we have for you. Even before they send you the offer letter, they will verbally negotiate with you either over a call, or they'll come tell you to come down and meet them, all of these things, and they'll get you started. So here's what you absolutely must not do. You must never take a decision without thinking it over. So let the salary negotiation be a minimum of 2 rounds. The first round where they give you the offer, you think about it, you contemplate, you do your own research, and you tell them, I'll get back to you. Is it okay if I can get a couple of days time? 48, 72 hours, take some time to get back because you need to do the research. By the way, if they are not allowing you the time to do the research, it's absolutely okay to say no. There are always better job opportunities. And I can assure you, even if you feel that, oh my God, this is the job where I'm almost there, I should take it. They will literally make you feel like you should take it, but don't. Tell them that I'll get back to you. And then in the second round, go back hard on with your research and then negotiate. So keeping all these things in mind, now let's kickstart the actual salary negotiation, starting with the mindset. And again, this is, mind you, after our first round, second round, now we are sitting for the salary negotiation round. So the mindset that you need to have always is, I will go there ensuring that I'm able to create a win-win situation for the company as well as myself. This is supremely important. You are an individual and you are speaking to a company. So even at a bird eyes view, the company is far bigger than an individual. An individual is always replaceable. So if you go there thinking that, oh, I'm going to get the maximum salary and I have to think all about me, they will understand and they wouldn't move ahead with you. There could be other candidates as well. So you always need to keep in mind that I will think of a win-win situation and I will always connect to the mission, vision, values. I will always look at myself as an asset. They wouldn't have negotiated the salary with me if they did not consider me to be an asset. And finally, most important thing, I will talk research, data, numbers. I will not involve my emotional elements related to money in this. Yes, I have done my preparatory work. I have done my sheet where I have all those calculations which includes my needs, mine and my family's. But at this point of time, I don't even want to get there. So keeping that as a mindset, the interview is going to start. So Suryadeep, how is it going? Hi, ma'am. Very good evening. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing really, really good. Especially the last interview, the kind of depth that we went, the quality of answers, even I surprised myself, I felt. So can't wait to get started. Please let me know. Again, are you able to see I did a little bit of a recap of the previous interview, shared my excitement, and this is the fourth time, first starting with the phone call and then the two rounds of interview. Now this is the fourth interaction with the HR. They are seeing that my energy is not dropping at all, rather the excitement is increasing more and more. The objective, even though it's salary negotiation, I'm still looping the amazing conversation that we've had. This tells the HR that this is someone who's really resonating with the work within the first couple of seconds. And that's so important. Building rapport, setting the tone of every professional conversation, not just professional, any conversation for that matter, setting the tone is what allows you to take immediate control. And that's why I'm so particular about whatever it is that I'm sharing. This stuff works every single time. I've done that as an employee. I've done that on behalf of the employer. When you take control, it works like magic. So now once that happens, then they will be like, okay, so I'm sure you're aware of about today's call. We are going to be talking about your salary. Once we decide on that, we'll be sending you the offer letter, which you sign, send us the documents, and you'll be onboarded. Yes, yes, absolutely. I am aware, and I'm so excited for what's going to unfold. So, a very interesting point here. If you observe and rewind back, you will see I've used the word quite a few times. Supremely, supremely important not to use any filler words or filler phrases within the first two or three interactions. Later, as you are contemplating or thinking and all, it's always good. Let your natural conversation flow, but try to make an deliberate attempt not to add any filler words or phrases as you are beginning every such interview, especially salary negotiation. So, Suryadeep, what we thought is right now, based on whatever we've discussed, of course, firstly, we really enjoyed your interview, taking your interview. Just one moment. We really enjoyed the interview. So we want to let you know that we have selected you and congratulations. It's such a great thing that we have finally been able to crack through. And I want you to know that out of around 15, 16 applicants, you were the one we finally zeroed in on. So Based upon the budget that we had already mentioned in our application, we will be giving you a 6 LPA. So will that be okay for you? Pretty much around the same lines is what they will tell you. They'll congratulate you. They'll give you some details if they have to. Now, they've already given you the amount straight away. Either they will give you the amount or they will ask you. If they give you the amount, good enough. If they ask you, it's your responsibility to give the whole thing. So uh, let's just say right now she's already given me the amount. Now let's do a hypothetical stuff. So I went on, let's just say, for a sales executive or associate. Okay, let's take that itself as an example. So that's really amazing to know, ma'am. I mean, I'm so blessed and grateful that you've you found me worthy. And I think all the hard work and prep that has gone into not just preparing for the interview, but understanding the role also. And I just wanted to make sure that at the end of the day, it's the mission that is taken forward, and every single thing that I can do. It's not that I started the job once I am onboarded. The job actually begins from the very first interview itself. So that's the level of dedication that I always bring in for every single thing that I do. And I'm so grateful that I was able to portray that and you accepted that as well. So big thank you for the offer. Now coming to the offer, ma'am, based on my research, the right now I'm having around 6 years of experience in the sales role. So if I look at the top five uh, sources for the salary industry standard, I'm talking about sources like Glassdoor, salary.com, Indeed, Adecco, or even Salary Indian, Michael Page salary report as well. Based on my research, the minimum salary that is being given for someone with 6 years of experience is 12 LPA for this specific industry. The maximum salary given for this role is 22 LPA. Now I can understand if we are coming anywhere close to the median role, which is around 16 lakhs 12,235. I just want to get a little more clarity about the offer that I'm being given. Okay, so now if this is my response, think about it. Okay, the HR has been already informed before that this is the salary you need to start, and they will always have a range, like I mentioned. Now we realize that the salary that I've been given, even though I am that experienced, the benchmark is far lower than even the minimum salary paid for that specific role. So the next question will be, yeah, Suryadeep, that's true. But if you see, your last salary was just 5 LPA. So how do you justify that? I 110% agree with you, ma'am. What you are seeing is the 5 LPA that I was earning. What you are not seeing is the 50 LPA, 50 lakhs per annum additionally that I was earning for the company. That's first. Second, the enormous amount of time I gave beyond my job to work on my skills. It's not just sales. I work towards CRM, customer relationship management. I work towards personal development, mindfulness, system building, emotional thinking, altruistic tonality, communication skills, creating my own brand, making videos online. All of this, which culminates into becoming better at sales. Now, if that's the amount of money that I generated for my previous company, imagine what am I going to do in this company where the stakes are higher, the responsibilities are bigger, and most importantly, the systems are already set. So I just have to plug in and immediately start getting the results. Now, if I'm able to bring that result for the company, I just wanted to know your thoughts if it's okay to request for at least the industry standard, respecting the skills and the proficiencies that I'm able to bring in. Just want to know your thoughts on this. Now, I ensured that this conversation does not turn into an argument or a debate. The HRs have this very, very amazing word that they always use, which is called as but. The word but is a negatifier. Okay, I think I just came up with that word. Negatifier means every single thing that you've told before. No, Suryadeep, I understand all or whatever you are telling. Yes, you worked on yourself. Yes, you've developed your skills, but, and then come up with their reasons, which completely negated whatever you have shared so far. What we are doing is we are using the word however. However is like an add-on. It's like you have a burger and you want to add another layer of cheese. However, okay. Again, all these are very, very deep NLP psychological stuff that I'm sharing with you. So please use this ethically, okay? So what I have done is I literally told her that I've worked on my skills, but now the stakes are higher. So it demands that responsibility. So now she will be like, yeah, but the industry standard is just 33%. How do you justify that? Industry standard is 33%. I 120% agree. However, the industry standard also talks about if you have a bigger degree, if you've upskilled yourself, if you've gotten results, then the company is supposed to pay you for that specific role, isn't it? And from what I did research on our company is that the people who become a part of the team, they never have to worry about finances at all. They are compensated to such an extent where they can just focus on the work. All the other things are taken care of. Did I hear wrong? So what are you doing? You are speaking the truth, but using the truth in such a manner where you are putting a very, very subtle nudge on whether the company really takes care of their employees or not. Very, very softly. Okay. This will look as a praise, buttered in suspicion, buttered with little bit of a nudge of, well, I'm here to claim whatever I deserve. So in this usual situation, if the salary is lower, what, and we are taking lower itself as an example because this is where the negotiation is going to come in handy. If it's within your power or if it's above, you say yes, everything is moving forward. That's why I picked a very, very low one so that we can negotiate throughout. So this is where the HR will be like, let me get back to you, Suryadeep. Can we connect maybe 2-3 days later and take this forward? Please feel free to say yes and tell them that, uh, make sure that you ask this question. Yes, I would be more than happy to wait, ma'am. However, there's one very important thing that I would want your permission in. Do you want me to oversee other offers, or would you be okay to hold on to this? Again, I'm just asking this out of curiosity because I really, really do not want to do so, and I want to join this company. When you say this, you're doing three things at the same time. First, you create some form of a fear of missing out, sense of urgency. Number two, you know that you have the skills and you've reiterated that to them that uh, if you don't give me an offer soon, and if you don't agree to my terms, then I might choose some other job. And number three, you've already asked permission, so you've given HR the respect that they they crave for or they deserve. I mean, that's what I have a little bit of a bias against HR. So, dear HRs, please, I'm very, very sorry beforehand. Again, I've worked in the HR department, served, but it's the truth. So, can't help it, at least as per my experience. So, pardon me for that. Now, when you look at these things that are told, please understand that the your team member with whom you had that final interview, they are already breathing down the necks of the HR. When are you getting this person onboarded? So the HR wants to do things soon so that you get onboarded and you sign the offer letter and you get started. But this is where you have to play it one step at a time itself without blowing the opportunity. So the HR gets back to you with an updated offer. Could be over text, could be over video, but please, 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 never, ever take any offer over text. Never. I did that mistake so many times. Let it always be a discussion. If it's okay, can we meet? Can we hop in on a short call to discuss over this? Can we hop in on a call or a video call, or preferably over Zoom itself if that's comfortable with you? Or can I come and meet you? Because that's when you can see them eye to eye and you can place your points and understand what's going on. So they'll come back to the offer with the offer. Hi, Suryadeep. So just wanted to let you know that we have decided to give you a raise. Like the we'll not be able to come up with what you are expecting, but we have increased the offer to 9 LPA. Is it okay? Shall we go ahead? Now understand this. What is the minimum salary for that role? 12 LPA. We already saw. Median is 16. Highest is 22. So at this point of time, they've gone from 6 to 9. It's crazy. If it's 6 to 9, now you have understood that they've already done almost a 50% jump, right? In the LPA. So again, LPA is just the CTC, cost to company. So there are going to be deductions and everything. And then you start making your calculations based on your needs and see whether that fits that or not. You always want to have surplus. So for example, if your minimum pay, like taking care of the needs, is 65,000, you should at least have 10, 15,000 more. Anything that you can save, invest, and that will take care of your emergencies. So your job needs to take care of your security. That's the main reason why we are going for a job in the first place. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing anything at all, isn't it? So that's when you calculate. And then you decide on either of the three things. One, you increase the take-home pay, ensuring that it hits. But even for that, you have to calculate through the take-home pay itself. But again, the human mind is conditioned in such a manner. If it's 9 lakhs, if it's 6 lakhs, which means I'll get 50,000. If it's 9 lakhs, which means I will get 75,000. That's what it is. So sit down and again discuss. This time, ask all the questions. No, I have a lot of questions. Can we hop in on a call and ask them all the questions? What's my take-home pay? What is the breakdown of my salary? What is the breakdown of my CTC? What is my take-home pay? Can you give me the detailed breakdown over annually as well as monthly so that it's easier for me to calculate? What are the benefits that I'm getting? Am I getting insurance? Is PF included? Are there any other deductions that I need to be aware of? Is professional tax being deducted? What is going on? Please give me all the details. Then you talk about what are the additional, if there are other bonuses, what are the other bonuses that I need to be aware of? What is my incentive commission? What is the incentive structure? What is the potential earnings that I can have through incentives and commissions? What are the added income that I can have as a part of this package? What are the added benefits that I can think of? So a very interesting package is going to include, let's just say for a sales executive. Now we know that the minimum pay is 12 LPA. So if they are able to crack 13 LPA, that's the bare minimum. I cannot go anything less than that because there'll be all these deductions and everything. So one of my dear friends recently clocked a very interesting deal. He said he gave the opportunity. He was working in the edtech sector under a mentor. So what he did is he got the salary of 10 LPA as his fixed pay, the CTC, cost to the company. Only 200 rupees per month will be deducted as professional tax, which can be claimed if ITR is filed. So his take-home pay was around 83,000-ish. Now, and other than that, because he was a part of that mentor, he got the premium access of all the programs of the mentor also. Additionally, he got another 3 lakh worth of healing for him and his family. Now that was a pretty good package. Again, you have to look at the win-win-win for both you and the company. So if you are not able to get the direct benefits, request for options. What are the indirect pay packages? What are the additional bonuses? What are the additional incentives? How is the company making sure that I am able to earn at least the minimum salary as per the industry standards? Once all these discussions are going on, by the way, just feel free to ask questions. And the logic here is to ask open-ended questions with the altruistic with the curiosity tonality. Think of yourself like a 4-year-old here. You already have the data and research in front of you. If your tonality is not right, I'll tell you, HRs catch. They have these antennas, okay? They're going to catch tonality like anything. So if your tonality is for one moment egoistic, rude, and if they get a sense of, oh, this is the industry standard, why are you not paying? They don't like it at all. You have to have that genuine curiosity to be able to give that kind of a value. And the best way to do so is, okay, now let's just say, I'll take this example itself. So as a part of the sales profile, I'm expected to do calls, generate revenue. These are the single biggest touch points that I will be expected to perform and give value on. And that's why the understanding your job description is so important. Every job has 3 major roles. One is your actual main role. Second are auxiliary tasks. Third is desk work tasks, unnecessary inactive tasks. You need to be very, very clear about it. And these are the questions that you need to ask if you need. So that's when I'm putting it forward. Like as a part of my sales role, I'm expected to earn revenue, do the calls. But at the same time, I'm also expected to maintain the dashboards and everything manually. In an AI age, I have to manually put all those details. That's going to take away a lot of my time. I'm supposed to attend meetings, which is important, I understand, but on the performance front, it might create a challenge because I'm eating away time over there. I'm expected to be a part of that as well, and I'm expected to do all of those things. This requires additional set of skills, which I already possess. I feel that the company can compensate me on that as well. Now, this is where the HRs will notice that you have started negotiating, and you probably know the little things that goes in. This is when they will say, yes, Suryadeep, this is very good, but what we have an option is we will be having appraisal meetings every 6 months. So if your performance is good, you will definitely get a raise. Now, this is something that I don't want you to believe in, honestly. Like I mentioned in the last video, I've never really survived in any job more than a year, not even a year. The maximum that I have been able to hit was 10 months. So for me, I never experienced what it feels like for an appraisal, getting a promotion and all. So I don't want the same for you also. When you go in, please note this, okay? This is a very, very important point. I want you to know that when you get hired in a company for a full-time role, it's not the 8 hours of work that you are doing. If it's an office, just add the travel time to and fro. If it's 6 days a week, forget about it. Your work life is going to be the nucleus of your life, and everything surrounds that. My humble request is if you can have a life where your work is a part of your life and not your actual life. That'll be the best thing. And that's precisely the reason why you need to negotiate. Once you realize that, okay, now she has already given me 9 LPA. Probably she's going to push to 10. Okay. Then I'll look for additional benefits. Is PF on top of it? Because my take home pay is not going to include. Now, this is something that I really, really want you to first understand and then break down. When the company is calculating the CTC, ideally the CTC is supposed to be for a 40-hour work week, which means 5 days a week, 8 hours per day. But in India or a lot of foreign companies, they work 6 days a week, 8 hours a day. So please sit down with your HR and do that calculation. Like literally do it. Just do that calculation. So ma'am, let's just say I accept the 9 LPA. Okay. Firstly, what are the growth opportunities that you will see, and how do you feel that I can compensate or earn the additional 3 lakhs? That is the at least the bare minimum salary that I should get. Can you help me with that? Do I have additional earning opportunities? What will be my work timings? Will I have to work 8 hours? So you need to have that crystal clear value, the what's that called? Clarity of what your worth is down to the hour, your hourly value. That's how you're already calculating. So if they're asking you for a 6-day work week, it's your responsibility to at least ask. And by the way, we use the tonality of curiosity. So you're not going to be like, oh, I'm working 6 days a week, right? Are you paying me for the 6th day? No, you ask it in this manner. So, ma'am, what you're trying to tell me is I will be getting 9 LPA. That's my CTC. So, based on the deductions and all, I will be getting at least around 70% of my salary, which is my take home pay. So, if my calculations are right, please feel free to ask their permission to take out a phone and calculate or do all of those things. So, if 9 lakhs is my LPA and I divide it into, or I uh, multiply it 70%, that will be 6.3, and 6.3 divided by 12 will be 52,500. That's my take home pay. Is that correct? Okay, got it. So now if that is my take home pay, ideally I'm supposed to get a minimum of 70,000 per month. So my question to you, ma'am, is how can I earn that money while being in this role itself? This is when you are bringing in the personal aspect of it. Okay. When I did the calculation and I started applying for the role, there are certain expenses that are there, right? Personal expenses, basic needs. Now, I want to make sure that the job that I'm doing is something that I'm interested in, job that I love, job that I enjoy. But at the same time, I don't want to keep thinking that, oh, I'm not going to get paid enough. Now I have to pay those balance and figure out a way. Already the company is not allowing me to earn anything extra. So how do you suggest that I go about this? Ask for suggestions. Turn them in as your team member, turn them as your partner in this, because they're already ready to hire you. Take their help and ask them for the solutions. Now either they'll tell I'll get back to you, or this is what we can do. They'll give you some kind of a solution. Reflect on this, organize your thoughts, and then come back. Okay, are there any additional benefits? So that friend I told you about, right, he got the benefit of having the complete freedom to have as many multiple income streams as he wants. So he can, beyond his working hours, he can spend time building his brand, freelancing, creating courses. Of course, he decided not to, but he got the option. And at the same time, he had incentives for every sale that he was getting. There was a possibility of earning more than what he was getting as his base salary just by incentives. Isn't that crazy? Because he negotiated it and he ensured that, see, if I'm able to earn 10 lakhs for the company single handedly, don't I deserve 1 lakh of incentives? Isn't that fair? And he got that deal. So this back and forth is going to go on. Now, the HR is going to realize that it's getting too difficult. The HR will coordinate with the team member. Either they'll give you the pay, what you are asking, or they will negotiate some more from their end. If the HR is very strict, no, I don't want to go beyond the budget, the negotiation will take some more time, and that's okay. What you can also do is you can claim some other benefits. Do I have lodging allowance? Do I have travel allowance? Will I be compensated for that? If I'm moving to a new city, will you give me an additional pay in which I can take care of my stay and all that? Do you have a place to stay, or you're going to compensate me the same? All those things needs to be taken care of. and negotiate it properly. Now, once everything goes right, you can also suggest your own CTC. So, for example, let's just say right now we saw 9 LPA, right? So, ma'am, what if we are able to take this a little better? See, what I suggest is 12 LPA. Because if you give me 12 LPA, then I will be having around, so I'm just making the calculation here. So I will be getting a take home pay at that point of time of 70,000. This takes care of, although it's not what I would want, but at least to some extent it takes care. And in addition to it, you can have the whole rule of allowing me my probation period, not give me any incentives for the first couple of months. Only once my probation period is over, then ensure that I have an incentive structure allowed in properly based on my performance and have a review, and then we can increase the salary. Does that work? You can also suggest. The point is, if you observe whatever I've discussed so far and the scenarios that I gave so far, every step in the way, all the research work that we have done up until this point, the salary benchmark exercises, your needs calculation, these are all data, these are all touch points, okay? The actual role, the demands of the role, justifying the skills that comes in and compensating for the same, the hourly value, the breakdown of CTC versus in hand, all of those things put together has given us enough data points where we can sit down and ask, teaming up with the HR. Like at times I've even used these kind of words. Uh, ma'am, I know that, ma'am, I know that you are uh, the HR of the company. And because we are having this discussion, I think I can also consider myself as a part of the team, right? Just because I'm going to be onboarded based on whatever this discussion is going to be all about. Is it okay if I can talk to you as my HR and not someone who's conducting my interview? Is that okay? The obvious answer to this is yes. This is called as a rhetorical question. There's an obvious answer to this question. That's why it's called a rhetorical question. Okay. So, ma'am, I want you to help me understand, if I go for this role, these are the challenges that I have. The salary is not up to the benchmark, not even the minimum threshold. This is my expenses, and I cannot go anything below that. I'm always happy to wait for opportunity, but this is something that I'm really, really passionate about. What would you suggest that I do? How can you help me in this? I really need your help in this. They'll give you the right suggestion. And this is one very amazing thing that I've learned about HR. This is what I would always do, is I would always give the best suggestion if someone had asked. Until you ask, the answer is always no. So the objective of negotiation is not to, it's not to go against the HR and fight it out, is to see and turn the conversation in which you are taking your company's help to help you. Yes, there are certain situations where the companies don't agree. So for example, if I give you my experience, one of the world's craziest mentors is one of India's biggest mentors when it comes to business coaching. I got an opportunity to be a business coach under his team. And they were very, very adamant about the salary. I had to physically go to Bangalore, which is one of India's most expensive cities to stay in. I had to relocate over there, go to the office 6 days a week. And they were not even ready to flinch a little bit at all from the salary. I very, very respectfully said no. And at times, that is the last resort that you need to take. However, the company where I'm working right now, under again one of India's leading mentors, Dr. M.V. Priyank, he has given me a phenomenal base salary, flexibility in my time. I can take my time off. I can manage my work week as 4-day work week, 3-day work week, ensuring that I keep getting results. I'm allowed to be a student in the community. I'm allowed to pursue my own stuff. At the same time, I'm getting paid pretty well. If I work, and my salary purely depends on the work that I put in. Because we have team members who are earning uh, double than what their base salary is. We have set up that kind of a system. And that is a phenomenal job to be a part of. Again, I negotiated this with him. I get to be a part of a student of his premium community. I get to serve the community as a volunteer as well. I get to interact with all the team members. I get to attend retreats that takes place. All of these opportunities are there. For me, it's a steal deal. It's a dream come true role. Now, all of this has happened because I asked with that curious tonality. So let's summarize what all we have discussed so far. We discussed about what got us till this point. We discussed what are the data points we need to have in front of us. We discussed the way we approach every single conversation. We also understood how to ask open-ended questions and team up with the HR department to finally come down to that offer. But the last point that I want to really highlight and do not want to miss out on is, let's just say you have got that offer. You got 15 LPA. They're like, okay, we are going to push ourselves a little bit and we are going to give you 15 LPA. And you are realize, oh my God, I've got more than what I have, because your expectation was just what, 12 LPA or 14 LPA, you got 15 LPA. The immediate thing the brain is going to tell you is, oh my God, 15 LPA is 1.25 lakhs per month. Oh, fantastic, fantastic. But make the calculation again. So when you say, ma'am, 15 LPA, again, I'm just going to get paid 70% of what I have. So if I calculate, it is going to be 70, which is around 87,500. Is that correct? Okay, fantastic. What are the other benefits? What are the other perks? What will be my PF? Discuss all of those things. Then do not say yes. Can I get 24 hours to think over it and get back to you? Never ever accept an offer as and when it is given. Take 24 hours. Tell them that you want to sleep over it. They will respect your decision. Sleep over it. Because now you're going to plan your life based on that entire offer. Now, let's just say I'm getting paid 87,500 is my take home pay. Now, is that for a 5-day work week? Is that for a 6-day work week? If it's a 6th day, then I would like to get paid for the 6th day also. How do you justify that? Make sure that you get paid the 6 days. So at times I come up with some weird things in the salary negotiation, which I personally tell the HR. Let's see, you're giving me 87,500 for a full-time role. Ideally, a full-time role is going to be 40 hours. So if I divide it by 40, so 87,500 is divided by 30. That's what is supposed to be the 30 days ka home pay, which means per day I'm supposed to get paid around 2,916. Now, if I divide it by 8 hours, my per hour pay is supposed to be 365 rupees. But now you're asking me to work 48 hours a day, which means if I multiply it by 48, just one moment, I'm doing my calculation right now in the system parallelly. So it's supposed to be 17,500 hours per week. So if I multiply it by 4, it's going to be, just one second, I think I made some mistake. Again, you can make the calculation. If 364 is your per hour rate, what should be a 48-hour, 48-hour work week? So 300, again, I'm so good, so bad at this. Okay, 364 into, that's your hours. So you work 8 hours, and that's your this thing. Now, if it's 8 hours, then this is the amount. Now that's per day. Now you're working 6 days a week. Okay, and you're working 4 weeks a month, and you're also working an additional 4 days. So you multiply it by another. Okay, so again, figure out the calculation. Tell ChatGPT to help you out with this. Probably I'll create a GPT just for this specifically at some point of time. I'm not so sure. That will just help you in one simple sheet, will help you if you have the CTC and you understand what's your take home pay, will help you break down your entire hourly calculation. How much should you charge? What should you negotiate? All of those things the GPT will take care. I'll prepare this and I will share the update in my newsletter as and when I'm announcing any of it. Okay. So now, keeping all these things in mind, at the end, please note that a job is actually a security thing for us. It's not just that, it's a place for you to grow. Because you don't spend that much of time in school, college, but you spend almost your entire life in your job. It takes a toll. You spend more time in your job than with your family, friends. The job becomes the central nucleus of your life, and not just for you, for your entire family, because the job pays for every single thing in the family. It's your responsibility to make sure that the job understands that as well and takes care of you the way you take care of your job. It all begins with mindset. It all begins with how you want your life to be. There are times when I have taken a pay cut to work partially, as in 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, for 4 days a week. And I'm absolutely okay to take that pay cut. There are times when I have been crystal clear about what I was earning, and at the same time, how much I'm giving back. How I've used all my previous salary experiences and previous salary negotiation rounds to get the best deal for both me and my company, to ensure that my lifestyle is not affected. Again, the choice is yours. You want to put the career on the forefront. You want to put your personal life on the forefront. You want to put the work-life balance on the forefront. It's your choice. Whatever it is that you choose, whatever Yogeshwari mentioned, you have to take that money that's on the table. If you don't claim it, you'll never be given. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. And I want to end today's life with very, very amazing quote by Mark Twain, I guess. Ask and it shall be given. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. I think it's there somewhere in the Bible. Yeah. So go for it. Of course, how to practice this? Go to ChatGPT, use the voice feature, give the context. The prompt will be, I'm applying for so-and-so role. This is the industry standard. This is my expected salary. This is the offer that is given to me. I want to do a role play with you in which you are going to be the HR and I'm going to negotiate my worth to you. Be a very, very strict HR and do not give me the offer. But at the same time, participate with me in the conversation fully so that I can eventually close you for the salary that I want. That's it. And then turn on the voice feature and just start talking. Again, all these details will be given in the form of a workbook and all. I'm planning to do it one step at a time. But as and when it happens, if you're following me on my website, sign up for the newsletter, you'll get every single thing you don't even have to worry about. Hope this was helpful. We had a pretty long episode this time. A lot of important points that got covered, which I didn't really think that it's going to come out this way. With that, this is Dr. Srideep. I want you to know that I love you so, so, so